Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. Hope you all are doing well. Thank you guys for joining me here. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at insights and messages for the collective Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter placement. These being general messages, please take the ones that are resonating organically and don't force any onto your situation. You can also apply these messages to any aspect in your life. With that being said, Sagittarius, let's get into it. The first card you have, Sagittarius, is the Time card, and it says forgetfulness, scars, and accumulation. So basically, Sagittarius, this is talking about the importance of time, in the sense that when time passes, we experience a growth in our, in our soul through healing with time. Because as time goes through, we start forgetting the past. We start forgetting the bitterness or the negative experiences. All the scars start to fade away. And that actually leads to a lot of wisdom. Because now over a period of time, we have actually processed what we learned. And that changes into wisdom, makes us wiser. So that will become your natural instinct next time you encounter a similar situation. So it's like the, consciously or subconsciously, the work that we put in with a period of time, releasing things that, are no longer good for us. And in a way that we forget in a healthy way, not that we are forcing ourselves to forget, but we forget things in a healthy, natural way. And the scars that we have endured, we honor those. Why? Because they mark the growth that we have experienced. They no longer are the wounds, right? They are the markers of our growth. And that's when we recognize that how the experiences, they turn into, valuable soul wisdom. So I feel that at this point in time, if you are into meditation or reflection, mindfulness, go through that whole process of healing. And all of those experiences that we have accumulated over a period of time, they will now become your stepping stone for growth, Sagittarius. So in terms of, analogy, I would say like, when a river, it makes its path over a due course of time, cutting through rocks and things like that. The same way time as well shapes us through not only remembering those experiences in a healthy way that have now become, wisdom to us, and we're able to let go of all the past hurts. That's the value and importance of time. Next card you have, Sagittarius, is Sea Creatures. And it further says, find guidance in times of darkness and let your inner light shine bright. Now here with the Sea Creatures, there's, there's a group out here. It's not a single fish or an animal, right? There's variety, which speaks of the collective, which means, and it's ocean, sea creatures. So there is depth, there is intuition, there's the wisdom that comes with depth. So I feel with this is more about being adaptable in the collective, in the environment, wherever you are, and being, very adaptable, flexible, and fluid in terms of your movement. Because when we navigate situations in life, the solution to navigating those problems comes through the depths of our experiences. Like how much depth have we gone into, or how much did we dive into to get the lesson out of those experiences that we have had in time, over a period of time. So basically this water energy is asking, the collective Sagittarius to believe more in your instincts, to listen to your inner voice, to have that emotional depth, which is the emotional intelligence, to navigate the situations, and then be graceful about how you handle and how you, how you move around in the world, even through challenges. Be graceful to it. So this energy will play out the best for you when you observe things and then take the right action, right? So watch for those signs that are around you. Be observant of your environment. And in terms of your responses and how you act, be flexible. And if you see the example of the sea creatures, they'll live together in the depths of the ocean and the sea with different personalities. So with sea creatures out here, I feel that it's asking you, Sagittarius, to be, part of the community, to work with the community, have that community connection, working with different kinds of, individuals and, different countries and different places. So work together with those, have that connection. And also, it's about individual growth as well. So this is basically about being very practical in your day-to-day things, but at the same time, go to the depths of your consciousness to get the solutions to any situation. And then, and then take practical actions or steps to navigate that or to work things out. Next you have is the Nine of Hearts, and Hearts energy is again heart-centered approach, emotional connections, emotional fulfillment. And this is more about, the cycles that we live through, the emotional cycles, because 9 is like almost the end of it, right? The concluding part of a cycle that we start. And this is an emotional cycle for you that's ending in some way, in the sense that something that grew you emotionally is ending. So it would have been tougher in the beginning. You learn a lesson, now you're completing that cycle, and something new is about to begin for you very soon, which is going to be emotionally fulfilling. So when you get the Nine of Hearts, it's more about the past experiences, to integrate that into whatever you have learned from your emotional cycle. And be thankful for those experiences because they shape us into who we become today. And also get ready for newer cycles, newer, emotional cycles. So basically at this point in time, Sagittarius, you might be reflecting on the past, how far you've come, what you learned, how you navigated situations. And also there is forward movement because it's, Nine of Hearts is the end of it. So there's a new cycle which is on the horizon for you. So whatever you have been through in relationships, in regards to your growth in the emotional space, and also what you have learned from your connections, whether they are just acquaintances or more deeper connections. So see what you have learned and integrate that. So I feel that, something around, your emotional or heart-centered goals is completing. And I feel that, and I feel that with this completion Nine of Hearts, there is something that you have learned, which means that, after this, the Ten of Hearts, there is going to be a new start in your emotional space where you're, where you are open, you're more open-hearted, you're more loving, you're forgiving, and through the experiences that you have accrued the wisdom, you're able to express that out in the most natural and authentic way. Now, next you have is House 3, which is the house of Gemini, right? Third house is more about communication. It's the house of Mercury, the planet Mercury. So it's about learning, college education, networking through, your community and people that are close, even siblings. So this is more about, and it further says, House 3, it says early learning, childhood relations, the rational mind and communication. So it's how we process things, how we, our rational mind, how rationally we can think without being extremes in our approaches. how we can communicate, exchange ideas, information with people around you that are like-minded, right? It's also about it also could be about writing. It could be about exchanging ideas, speaking, communication, learning through your local groups or networks or something that is close. I mean, today it's like we can learn from anywhere. You can learn from online. You can learn from any person. But this is more about learning something, whether it's a group that you have joined online or whether this is somebody, a group that is around you where you stay. This is also related to your siblings and the relationship that you hold with them. So maybe you are spending more time and connecting better. This could, if you are in college or you are, participating in some research, where this could be coming together with like-minded people and, studying something or working on a project. For those of you in the media, this could be about visiting local places and, putting content out there about your local areas, or you enjoy journaling, writing, print, media, things like that. And it's very important. Look at the verbs in the picture. It's through communication that when we receive information, when we share information, we transform ourselves and other people. It's like when we exchange ideas and how we do things, how people do things, when they share it with us, it eventually leads to a lot of transformation in our own personal lives and the way we do and say things, the way we understand things. So I feel that your local neighborhood or the clubs and organizations that you have joined, whether online or offline, are in some way transforming the way you do things. And it's coming through a network of people. Next you have is the number 10. So again, there is conclusion. There is, ending, culminations of things. And you have the Wheel of Fortune. This is major arcana. It says kitchen garden. Look at the picture. It's so beautiful. Colored herbs. You might be into herbs, nature, landscaping, outdoorsy things. But this is more about, cycles of our cycles that, where our bodies work according to natural cycles. And this is more about, the growth that happens through cycles, through full moon cycle, to moon cycles. So I feel that this Wheel of Fortune is like things are changing and for the better. So it's also about, taking it's the, because you have learned so much, it's time for things to shift and change. So go with the flow. That's the natural cycle, of learning, of growing, of evolution. That's the cycle of evolution that we live through so many cycles in a lifetime, right? So, and if you see the picture, it's so beautifully landscaped. It's like everything's arranged so well. So skills, learning your skills, upskilling, maybe you're into gardening or things like that. But this is more about learning how to put things together in the beautiful arrangement. And it happens not overnight. It happens to practice, to feedback, and the evolution. So I feel that you have completed a cycle where you have learned so much and you are learning to create this beautiful garden for yourself, in the sense that putting things, together, a way that it looks beautiful. It's a skilled art of gardening or anything that you do in your life. You're so skilled at something that you've put something together so beautifully, or you will be very soon. So I do feel that, and this happens only when we're able to nurture well. We have to put in the work, consistency. There needs to be positive intention for things to grow, right? But at the same time, with nature cycle, we know that there are seasons and every season is different. It brings a challenge and change, which we need to adapt which we need to adapt to. So, and that's nothing that we can change, right? Seasons is seasons. We cannot change that. We just have to adapt to it. We have to accept that, this is how it's going to be. And we have to work around the challenges that come. So, I feel that you have a good understanding of how things work, how you start cycles and how you put things together and how you end that cycle to start a new one. And you have put in the work, consistent effort, and you just know that, it's all about the timing when things, they come together like a piece of puzzle. And that's when it can, brings in that abundance that is sustainable for a longer period of time. Why? Because you have, in your garden of life, you have been cultivating something mindfully, whether it's your goals, dreams, or whatever that is to you. You have been bringing the mindful effort, energy, intention to create and bring in the abundance. Next you have is the card of the moon, number 18. So you have the number 10, you have number 18. So the number 8, 9, 1, 10 could be important. The moon, the Tura, again, the Tura is a very important herb in which, it is dangerous. So, we need to stay away from it. But at the same time, look how it's grown. It's growing from a button to a full-bloom datura. So, and then there is in the center, it's shown like the moon, right? It's a beautiful moon. And then datura, the full-bloom datura is in the center of it. So there is a cycle, right? And we've been seeing that in your reading. It's about cycles related to moon. A moon is also about the unknown because it's, limited in energy and light. So it's like working through moon cycles in the sense that at all times we don't know everything, but just trusting your inner voice, because moon governs our emotions and the water, and we're all made of, 70% water. So these moon cycles are heavily impacting our psyche, our dreams, our emotions. So, when we tap into the depth of those emotions, we actually get a lot of information. So, knowing how to navigate unknown spaces, keeping those boundaries, your protective boundaries. With the datura, it's like we need to stay protected at all time. And at the same time, with that intuitive and inner wisdom, we can, in a very grounded approach, we do things. We navigate situations. So it's like some of you could be into, journaling, or you could be you could be visionaries with vision boards. You could be into meditative practices. You could be, I feel that Sagittarius, you are a fire sign, but you're coming through as very intuitive, like meaning some of you are working with the moon cycle, some of you could be working with nature, some of you could be just knowing exactly when to do what, but at the same time, when you are in an unknown space, you know how to move things slowly and carefully. So if there is any kind of illusion or unknown things around you, you observe, and then you turn that information into wisdom, which becomes, like a heightened awareness, which adds to your heightened awareness of the situations. So it's like we don't know what we're gonna deal with in a day, right? There's so many things that we don't know about. There are hidden truths, there is hidden information around us, but at the same time, to not get baffled by it, to still stay rooted and anchored in our reality, comes only when we are able to have those meditation and grounding and protective practices in place on a day-to-day basis that keeps us protected, as well as rising in consciousness through working with moon cycles or working with natural cycles and trusting your inner voice and being observant and things like that. So I feel that's what you are probably doing right now. And the last card for today, Sagittarius, you have is no goal. And it further says, sometimes our goals can keep us from being in the moment. Goals can overshadow the experience we are having while we pursue our wants. Sometimes to be successful, we just have to focus on what needs to be done rather than focusing on the end game. When you focus on the process, we give more effort to what we are doing. This can be the leverage you need to reach your goal. Exactly, living in the moment, observing things, putting things one step at a time, taking the practical application by having the intuitive wisdom and Treading carefully even in unknown spaces can only happen when you don't have the end goal in sight and you work on a day-to-day basis with things as they come. So, good energy here. So Sagittarius, those were your messages. Hope you enjoyed the content. We also post a lot of general messages, a lot of content on our YouTube channel. It's Amaranth Inc. The handle is at Amaranth Inc 5096. Be sure to check the channel out for a lot of content. So hope to see you there, guys. And thank you for joining me here. I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.